There's a term I hear sometimes, found the funny. You hear it more often from observational comedians. It means you found the interesting or absurd part of a topic that makes talking about that topic funny. It's unclear to me exactly how one goes about finding the funny. It appears to be rather difficult, and the amount you find at any one time is variable. They can be as long as Gary Goldman's thoughts on Trader Joe's, which are about 30 minutes long, or no longer than a one-liner.
I like how on cop cars, to protect and serve is in quotes, like they're being sarcastic.
Observational comedy is interesting in particular because you're kind of trying to perform this word alchemy. You've got these lead chunks here, cop cars, and they're generally known for doing all the things that cops do. And the aim is to talk about it in a way that turns it into gold. There's a similar challenge with innately boring subjects.
Why do they call it Ovaltine? The mug is round, the jar is round, they should call it Roundtine.
So, either because it's difficult, or because comedians are lazy, or because gold does not strike twice, it's not often that you see one subject get approached from multiple angles. You're more likely to see comedians put their own personal spin on similar angles. A quick example of this is gun control. Various comics have weighed in on gun control, but the jokes that work are generally in favor of more gun control.
We need to control the bullets. That's right. I think all bullets should cost $5,000.
There is one argument and one argument alone for having a gun, and this is the argument. Fuck off. I like guns.
This means that you end up with a lot of jokes from a select group of angles. That is, unless you're talking about childbirth. Now, you might not think I'm serious, but I am. There are two really great takes on childbirth by Patton Oswalt and Gaffigan, and they each approach the subject radically differently. And this is a great subject for inspection because childbirth is generally not something that you would consider to be a comedic affair.
My wife had the baby at home. We had all our babies at home just to make you feel uncomfortable.
But here we are. And this is a great start, actually. It succinctly describes the scene, and it's an acknowledgement that acceptance for this choice of life is an uphill battle. Like being a vegetarian or voting third party, it's something you just intrinsically need to justify.
At home? Well, why wouldn't you have it in that germ-infested building where sick people congregate? Didn't your wife want to give birth in a gown someone died in yesterday?
And now we have a blanket statement about Gaffigan's opinions on hospitals. But I promised two takes on this, so let's see what the other side of this joke looks like.
And if one more of my Whole Foods friends tells me that I have to have a home birth, I am gonna punch all the soy on the planet.
Immediately, we see a lot of contrast. For starters, the sentiment is completely different. However, beyond the sentiment, this is a lazier joke. It's a little more pandering, a little more strawman, and that doesn't matter because it's funny. It's still very funny, mainly because, more likely than not, people are going to agree with it. And it's fun to hate on people who disagree with you. So I don't mind that it's lazy, because the return on investment of this joke is great. Oswalt knows he can be a little bit lazy here, because for him, it's a downhill battle.
Listen, Patton, I know that you're probably gonna go to a hospital, but you gotta think it through, man. You gotta do it at home, naturally. That's the only way. That's the way the pioneers and the settlers did it, man.
He goes on a little bit of a rant here, but it's more of the same. And eventually, he winds his way to the point.
You know what they were dreaming about when they were having their babies out there? Hospitals! They dreamed about hospitals!
Now that I've established where everybody stands, we can really get into the meat of the argument. So please, Gaffigan, explain your views to us.
There was also a midwife there, because we believe in witchcraft.
That kind of seems like a joke against home births. But that can't be right, because we've already established that you're in favor of home births. Maybe I got that wrong, though. Let's just double check real quick.
My wife had the baby at home. We had all our babies at home just to make you feel uncomfortable.
Nope. No, you're definitely team home birth. Okay. So maybe this is a case of self-deprecation helps the medicine go down, also known as the John Oliver method.
Home birth is crazy, huh? It was all my wife's idea. I don't even like cooking at home.
No, I'm sorry. This can't be right. He can't be against home births. He's done it 4 times by this point. How can he be against something he's done repeatedly? Well, then maybe this is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts kind of thing. This is something that his wife wanted to do, and he was there to support her with his words and his actions. What was your role in the delivery again?
And it's wild, you know? There was so much screaming at one point, I actually woke up.
Okay. Well, this is unexpected. Maybe, for these divisive jokes to work, you need to give some ground for some reason. If that's true, we should see Oswalt start to make fun of hospitals also. So let's see how his bit continued.
You're gonna have a home birth, you should go all the way. Build a little hut in the backyard. Dig a little birthing trench.
Nope. He's definitely leaning into home births here. But you know, it's not an exact science, and a little wiggle room here and there is fine so long as... Actually, hold on. Is he still going?
If you're gonna do a home birth, make sure to have like 9 kids, because 5 of them are gonna die from the rickets, just like the pioneer kids.
I'm gonna save you the rest of it. He goes on for a bit. And now they're both making fun of home births, so this isn't exactly planning out. You know what? I'm clearly biased. I'm biased towards thinking that people who like home births are crazy. And that is interfering with my ability to objectively analyze this comedy, which is unacceptable. You all deserve so much better from me than this. You know what's gonna make this better? Math. The addition of math to biases will yield objective results, I'm sure of it. So let's break this down. Both of these bits take about 4 minutes, which is great. We're already off to a good start, even time. So now, we need to take out the time they spend doing the intro, which is about 30 seconds on each side. Gaffigan spends a minute making fun of hospitals, then a minute making fun of home births, and then a minute and a half making fun of himself?
You know, a woman can grow a baby inside their body. And then somehow a woman can deliver the baby through their body. And then by some miracle, a woman can feed a baby with their body. And when you think of the male contribution to life...
That doesn't look like the stunning indictment of hospitals he set us up for in the beginning, but let's not rush to conclusions here. How did Oswalt do? After Oswalt's intro, he spends 2.5 minutes making fun of home births. Okay. But there's still a minute left, so maybe he softened his pro-hospital position a bit?
I want the most modern birth they can possibly give me. I want them to use experimental shit at the hospital. Like incubator, what am I, Amish? Put her in the cold laser bath.
Nope. He really loves hospitals. This is maybe the cleanest contrast I've seen 2 bits start off, but they both eventually settled in the same place. If you take away the time spent transitioning and setting up these bits, which is roughly 2 minutes, between the 2 of them, they spent over half the total time trashing home births. And that's not including the time Patton spent praising hospitals. Only a small portion of the time was actually spent making fun of hospitals, and it was all done by Gaffigan. So what does it mean when 2 separate comedians approach a joke from opposite mindsets and end up telling the same joke? They approach the joke entirely differently.
If one more of my Whole Foods friends tells me that I have to have a home birth...
We had our baby at home, not in a field.
But still found the same funny.
And by the way, having a home birth is bullshit.
Home birth is crazy, huh?
Which makes me think, even if it's not impossible to tell different jokes from the same premise, it must be extremely difficult. Hello, I hope you enjoyed the video. Do you agree with any of this? Cards on the table, I'm not super comfortable with it myself, but I had trouble finding a better example than this one to counterpoint. If you have any better examples of jokes that run against the grain that most comedians trod, I'd love to hear them. Feel free to pop them down in the comments below and let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching.